Welcome to the LA channel, live stream 101. So this is a special time that I'm trying out. Unfortunately, my alarm clock didn't go, so I'm running an hour late. So it's 2 p.m. Let's see, I'll bring up the clock. 2 p.m. Friday, well, just after Friday, so we're running really a bit late. And we've got John joining us here. I thought we might have more people on because it suits them better for time, but it seems that people have got appointments next morning, like Robert and Jared's working and stuff. So we'll just cue some music and make sure that's working. Where is it? I can hear it. I need to switch the intro. Well, is it looking good? Yeah. It always seems to amp up the volume. I'm not too sure why. Oh, it's even getting louder. My counter's working. Good to be. Where's the sound glitching though? It's always glitching on videos for some reason. So pause that again. Oh, it's not pausing. Why is it not pausing? Oh yeah, I think it might be. Here you go. If I don't pause it, I'll use up CPU time. That's John Ratlin. So here we go. Here we go with us. Hey, Reno. What time is it there? So it should be, let's have a look at the time zones. So it's my afternoon here, so it should suit everyone a bit better on the other side of the world, because most of the people I know are night owls. They can't sleep at night and they can't get up in the morning, which is pretty much the same as me because I've done shift work all my life, and I sort of never adjusted from it. So where's my date and time thing? I think it's here somewhere. World clock. So around the world. You can minimize that now, I think. Yep. So I thought we might have more side chatters on, but it looks like it hasn't happened. I don't think anyone's actually joined my Discord apart from our regular group. I've put I'll go over it in a minute, but I've put Discord on my channel now, so you can always join the club, so to speak. It's like a live, but it's not live. Like you can go in there, chat like you can on the side chat here, and even do voice if you got headsets. But guarantee that then other people do different time zones, so they can hop on any time they want. So John could probably hop on and start talking about UFOs or whatever when I'm sleeping. Where's my thing? Is my eyes haven't cleared up yet because I've only been up not long because I overslept. And blurry eyes are really annoying. Until you suffer from eye problems, you don't know. I've meant to have had an eye appointment booked in, but as you know, you complain about healthcare being expensive in America, but at least if you pay for it, I suppose you always get service. But in New Zealand, it's a big wait list, and whoever's most sick always gets moved up in front of the list, and you on the queue gets pushed back, and whoever's got the worst eyes will get the operation before you do, and all that sort of business. So yeah, they're meant to have sent me out a booking to get me into the hospital to sort out my left eye. At least if I get my left eye back. At the moment, I'm sort of running on the right, and that's a bit blurry at the moment for some reason. So I got this condition. They reckon it's my immune system, but they're not sure where I'll get debris in the eye, and it can create floaters, which then ricochet the light around in your eye, which makes it look like you're looking through net curtains instead of a nice clear day. You're looking through a cloud, So up the top here on my channel, I've got these little icons. I'll just zoom in. And it's got my Merc channel. It's got my Discord channel, Facebook page, and Twitter, and Patreon. Now I've got Instagram, but I got rid of it because I joined it and I thought this social media site's just a load of rubbish. You could only put it like 2-minute video clips or something. It was just absolutely waste of time, and you had to make special format for it instead of just uploading a video and for it to take even the first 2 minutes of it. So yeah, I don't know why anyone uses Instagram. I think it's all for female bimbos on the site that sort of put up all their images and costumes and stuff, and men draw over it or something, from what I've seen anyway. So yeah, and Google Plus I've removed from Google now because it's disappearing soon, isn't it? March, I think it's going to be taken away from us. So, but at the moment, we're still posting stuff there. So until it disappears, but I won't be promoting it as a place for people to connect to. Discord is now the best option, unfortunately. So everybody's going to have to get Discord. You can load it in a Chrome browser, like I do on mine here. There's actually in a Chrome window up here, which I've reduced in size. Where's the date and time? I thought I brought that up. Did I close it? So just bear with me while I sort of find things again. So let's just have a look at the times out there. So let's see. So it's 20 past in New Zealand. For some reason they brought up Hamilton, New Zealand. New York is 8:30 p.m. That would suit them pretty nice at the moment. London is 1:30 a.m. So people normally are up to early hours of the morning over there, so should suit them. And Friday, Tokyo, 10:30 a.m. So that's looking better time for most of the world here, I think. Australia, I suppose, as well. If they're not working, in New Zealand, most people probably be working though. What's Canada? All the different times here. Canada is 8:30 p.m., so pretty close to California time there. Spain doesn't quite fit on the list here. South Africa, is it? No, Spain. Oh, they're early in the morning too. Turkey, 4:30. That's really early. US, let's look at ranges from 4:30 p.m. all the way down to 9 p.m. Is it? 8:30. So yes, this time should suit more people in USA, eh?
I'm the United States. That's all that you need.
Well, at the moment. But I was hoping to get some more people on to talk about the UFO stuff. It's just hard getting people. I do invite people to come over and talk about their amazing story they had as a kid, but it never happens. And to try and get people that claim being abducted all the time, they're sort of like disappeared into the woodwork, you know. And when you want them to come on alive and talk about it, they're nowhere to be seen. You have to be part of that research group at the ILSN, ERT, or whatever you called it. Can't remember what it stands for now. Extraterrestrial Research thing. I don't know. Probably something like that. He did tell us on the live. So yeah. I did this before I went to bed last night. This Utah sum up. It's a 5-minute video. Let's see if it plays. I didn't put any intro music on it, and I didn't put any music throughout it. I thought I'd just put the end credits with music on, just to keep it simple. So I'll just bring it up now and just do a quick play of it. So what I did is did a real enhancement of the movement, because I wasn't going to talk about it again, but I'll tell you. So this was put up last night. Is that still playing? That's at the moment playing. Right. So where's the comments? So as you can see here, it's got 3 downvotes and 1 upvote, because people just can't accept that it's a bird. They seem to know better. Even though I've explained it in this video, I've put it all together. So what I do is I'll copy the link. Utah zoomed in clip. I know John's sick of hearing about it. So yeah.
Well, you just so thoroughly debunked it. It's like, how can people be questioning the dang thing? Yes.
I probably haven't got the timing right for people to read it, so maybe they have to pause it or play it a second time, but we'll just play it anyway. And I'll just pause it. So here comes the drone flying in. It would be something like this one here, probably. Is moving forward at 13 meters per second. And then I got this falcon. Believe it or not, that's a falcon. Peregrine falcon. So it's actually, if you look at the stealth fighter, if you put this profile of the Peregrine next to the stealth fighter, they're identical. In fact, I probably could find the thing for it. So let's see.
Here he goes. Sorry.
Yeah, I thought it might be just interesting to compare it, because this is why the bird is so amazing. The falcon design, Mother Nature of it is just amazing for aerodynamics, and that's why it can do a top speed when it's diving. And it's actually got some special stuff in its nostrils, so the air pressure is that much as it's diving, that it can close off most of its nostrils so it doesn't burst its lungs. It's an amazing bird. Yes, and stealth. I think. Bomber? Is it a stealth bomber or stealth fighter? I always get confused.
It's one of both.
Oh, here we go. We've got some images come up now. So I got a wee bit sidetracked, but this is the idea. So here we go. We got a picture of a stealth bomber. And look how similar it is in the design. Almost looks like a model of the Falcon side profile. The bird's head and the beak, and then got a peak instead. But yeah, the best things are modelled on Mother Nature, I guess. So I put that link there up if people want to have a closer look at that. The Falcon design used for bomber. I don't know if all letters come up or not. Let's have a look. So what didn't come up? Load of letters. Design. E and S didn't come up. Not surprised because those letters haven't got keys on them. Only got little rubber things that you press in. Won't let us post it. Why is that? I was just trying to post an image link, you stupid people.
Wow.
It won't let you post. Should have like a short link so you can just post a link to the image in the database. But you'll see what I did anyway. So go back to the video. So just keep on playing it. There should be sound with it at the end, but like I said, I didn't add any sound in. So I've said here, the Falcon's side view, it's invisible to the camera when wings at the side of the body due to limitations of the camera resolution. It's not passing behind tree or hill, but disappears when its position is like this. So when it's far away from the camera at maximum range, and it's got its wings gliding along. So if it flaps every half a second and it's gliding along the rest of the time, you're not going to see it for the rest of the glide when it's at the maximum focal length of the camera. So you're not even going to get 1 pixel. So that's what I'm saying here. And then I've got the next one coming up. So when it's flapping its wings like this, say 5/60 seconds later, so 1/60 is the frame, it does 60 frames a second. So say it's into frame 5 to 60, because we said the video was actually a second long. It's got its wings back up for another downward thrust. So it does that randomly. If you watch the video before, you can actually really see it. It's sort of, you get 1 dot and then no dots. I didn't focus on that part of the video on this just to show this bit, but just believe me, the reason why it's flickering in and out, it's not because it's going behind trees or a hill. It's only because it's changing its profile, as I've said here. So when the wings are up, it's actually a bigger object, and the sensor then detects it as 1 pixel. So keep on going. I think I got longer read time on that one. So the Falcon starts to turn in the video, which is at the end, and it's heading towards the camera. This is the camera lens here. It's now heading towards us to check us out. Falcon banks, passes drone, looking at it to figure it out if it's prey or predator. So it zooms past the camera like this. So for the it's got a different angle, and it's checking out the sensor. I mean the camera on the drone, not the sensor. So what it's saying here, what factors suggest it's not an alien craft or drone? Because some people were suggesting, like Vern was suggesting, it was a speed and drone coming past. But when you have a look at the close-up footage, you can see it can't be a drone because it's changing shape. Unless there's a new drone out there that flaps bits and pieces up and down that simulates wings, it's not going to be a drone. So basically what I said, neither would blink out on the side view randomly. So as it's flying horizontal to the approaching drone camera, it's blinking in and out because the wings are flapping. A UFO would be constant. So if it's a large UFO, you should be able to see that single dot as it's moving across the screen. Same with a drone. UFOs don't need to bank. So when you have a look at the clip coming up, you can see it definitely banking, not once, but twice, maybe even 3 times. We'll have a look. And then they use, because they use anti-gravity. So UFOs can do right angle turns. So it doesn't need to bank because it doesn't suffer G-forces. All you could say is maybe it's a crazy fighter jet diving and all that. But if it's passing that drone at supersonic speed, there should have been a compression wave called a sonic boom. So there was none of that. The drone didn't rock. There should have been air pressure. So this comes down to number 3 here. So it can't be a plane. It can't be a UFO. It can't be a drone because they would have caused some air pressure that would have given the drone a wee bit of a rock, but you can see it was steady in the footage. So just using common sense here. Fact is, any video can be made CGI. So I put the CGI bit in as well because people argue that maybe it's CGI. However, I don't think this one is, for the fact that they made it look like other motion blurred bug or bird, which we call blurfo or blurfos. You get on such cam CMOS sensors. So when you get a small object that's moving pretty close to the camera really fast, you get a smudge pretty much. You get a streak. It's a limitation of a technology on low frame rates. 60 frames a second is not particularly very high. To see a bug fly past the camera, you would need at least 1/1000, which you can only get with camera. So I'll be going over speed more in a minute. So as you know, we plugged it into this calculator, so I stuck it up on the video here summary for everybody to see. And I've put up the figures. So the wingspan of the Falcon is 0.74 to 1.2 meters. Let's say it's somewhere in between range, a young bird 0.80. The focal length of the camera we looked at was 20 millimeters, and we worked out the infinity was set in the camera on the drone was 35 divided by 2.8, which come out to 12.5. So 12.5 is actually millimeters is what it's set to. And from what I understood, I looked it up on Google, and that's what they said, you divide one number by the other. So I assume that I've got that bit right. We can see 3 or 4 pixels of the Falcon wingspan when it's 1 second away. So I don't know, but it could be plus or minus some. I don't know. I doubt it's exactly 1 second. Everyone keeps saying it's 1 second, but I doubt it's 1 second. I bet it's a wee bit over a second. So I've put plus 0.1 to 0.5 there. Just, that sort of variation there allows it to do more distance in the calculations, you see. You think 0.1 of a second's not much, but when you're flying at 100 meters per second like the Falcon is, that can cover quite a lot of distance in that 0.1 of a second. So just keep on going. We know the video was doing 1080 at 60 frames per second. So I plugged it into here, and I do a zoom of the final result, which comes out to 115 meters. And when you break it down now from that calculation on those values, it does 150 meters. It's 150 meters away from the camera. The Falcon was probably not doing maximum speed, but close to it probably. So it works out at 102 meters per second, plus the drone was moving at 13 meters per second. You add 102 plus 13, you get 115 meters per second. So it covers that distance quite easy to the drone. Now, if you plug in other values, like estimates that we found doing the lives last time of 50 feet for a typical flying saucer based on what other people said they saw, hovering and all that, 50 feet wide or 50 feet tall. We know the smallest ones are about 50 feet, and the exception would be Renison Forest one. How big was that one? I can't remember now. Was it 3 meters by 3 meters?
You're asking me?
Yeah. Well, you meant to know all this stuff. This is.
Well, I'm just this whole thing here with the equations and the mathematics. You're really good, Paul.
Yeah, but people still don't believe me. So, but I've tried to prove it here with science, maths, and what we know is the limitations of our technology. So, if it exceeded those values, then we could say it was a real object, and it matched up, the distances and all that. From that, if you plug in all the UFO stuff, details, do estimates, it never even comes close to that 3.5 mile ridge line that they're claiming it's coming behind. It works out 2 kilometers before it, or 10 kilometers after it. So if you try all the different values, it doesn't sort of work. So we just keep on going. So I got the video footage coming up here now. Another thing is, you notice how white it is in the image. Now, as you know, UFOs are silver or invisible. So why would they have their cloaking off approaching a camera at that sort of supersonic speed? And why would it be white? Why wouldn't it be like black or silver? Why white? Because white stands out, especially when you got a sunny day. So how many UFOs are white? The only one I can think of is the one I sort of debunked before. That was the Socorro one, which was meant to be a white egg, which we worked out to be a military helicopter that NASA was using. And of course, we know NASA always has white things. It has a white ship with the word NASA written across it. So white things tend to be man-made objects, painted, rockets, SpaceX, they're white, so they can stand out against the sky, I guess, and reflect the sunlight heat back out into space. But there's no reason why a UFO that can travel interstellar space would need to be white, because they have all sorts of other shields and protections built in the craft that uses the radiation doesn't affect them. They'll be so advanced they know how to bend the cosmic radiation and meteorites heading towards them around the craft as they're flying at really fast speeds. So that's another thing. If they're flying at speed of light, how would you know that you're not going to crash into a planet or asteroids?
Thank you. Yes, I have been arguing that for years.
So there's going to be something else going on there. They're not going to be traveling in normal space as we know it. It's going to have to be. They're going to have to be somehow into that sort of fourth dimension that we keep talking about, a dimension of energy, where it sort of has oscillated its atoms into a energy vibration that allows it to pass into that dimension and then just travel that dimension where there's no objects but just energy itself. So this is to understand that it's going to be way beyond our science capabilities at this moment to understand it all. But you see these sci-fi movies where they go to speed light, but how does that work without crashing into micro meteorites and stuff? Well, they got shields in those sci-fis, and they got that sort of bends stuff around, and obviously they must have the universe mapped beforehand. What they must have seen out drones or something, and mapped out all the paths, which is what humans would have to do before they can travel that ridiculous speed. They need to start making what they call it 3D printed exploring robots that go out to space and they send back information and build up a map, a cosmic map of what the universe looks like. So we might be able to travel at really fast speeds, but before we do that, we've got to know what's out there and how to dodge the stuff as we're flying. And so how long would it take to miss a planet in the way if you want to go in a straight line to another location? What's happened? John's dropped off again. Hang on. Discord might be doing some updates. John.
Let's try this again.
Hang on, what happened? I think they might be doing some updates.
Yeah, there you go.
And they drop us off. So this is Discord, everyone. Discord comes up with a bit here, which allows us to have a group for. Well, why are we doing it anyway? I'll just make it big here. Discord allows us a group for text chats where you can post links. So this is why you should join up. And you can share links and video links to me to talk about. And this one, if I click on it, gives us instant voice. So anyone that clicks on the second link there, they've got the headset or whatever, will start be able to talk to anyone that's in that group. And you'll be able to do text chat at the same time as well. So yeah, at the moment we've got the special group set up for chat, which can have up to 10 people in it at the moment for Discord, which is more than enough. You don't want too many people on. So yeah, we sort of got interrupted there for a minute. I'll just try to drag it back up the corner. I had you sized better before. Oh, that'll do. So yeah, I was talking about speed of light. So we have to map out where the cosmos is to be able to make what we call flight paths, like we do in the skies. You see all those 15,000 planes flying around, right? So all that's controlled by a lot of people in towers, radars, looking at radar screens, and obviously computers and call signs, because we can use it on that program to see how they're flying. So there'd be a lot of crashes and people coming burning from the sky otherwise. And that's what you would have to do in space. You have to map not just the planes or other spaceships out there, but you'd have to map all the cosmic bodies out there, all the clouds of dust and meteorites that are all in space there. But I still think it's never going to be perfect because, as you know, meteorites just seem to be heading all over the place. And comets and stuff like that. They just come flying out the blue. They're always moving. So, yeah, I don't know if you'd ever get speed of light travel, really, unless you really got some really good shields that can take huge impacts and vaporize whatever crashes into the ship. When you start thinking about it, it's kind of mind-boggling science that we're going to have to deal with, and we won't be around to see it all, of course. Here, Renee. the best authentic ufologist and bunker. Yeah, and I'm sort of only working at half capacity at the moment because my eyes are not helping me out, and I need a drink because I'm dehydrated. We got another hot day here. Looks like it's heading up into the 30s again. So let's get to this video clip. It's slowed right down and it's enhanced so you can actually see it from far away. So first of all, I start with the normal size, and you can just see the white object coming slowly towards us now. You can see it was banking quite a bit there, and then it flies past the drone. So this is zoomed in a wee bit more, and you can see it slowed down, and you can see the white object looks like it's coming from the ridge, but it's just got close enough to the camera to be able to pick it up. And you can see it's banking. Looks like it only just noticed the drone, and it sort of thought, oh, I've got to change direction pretty quick, and started blanking and diving, and then it sort of bends itself around again and glides towards where the object is. And you got to remember the drone is moving too. Now we got the super zoom in, and the object appears here. So you see how it sort of appeared out of the blue. This saying it appeared behind this ridge line. It only happens to be coincidence that it looks like it's coming from behind the ridge line. I think it's because the camera's moving, remember, at 13 meters per second, and the bird is flying along this direction, and it notices the drone about now. You'll see it start to turn, and you'll see the shape changes as it happens. So you can see here it looks like a blob, and it's changing different sizes in the blob, and you see it sort of now start to stretch out, and you can see it looks like it's banking and turn into a vertical shape. Now must be like 3 pixels there, really zoomed in. That's the time that we see it in the video, pretty much. So you can see it's still bending and turning, and you can see the wings are now sort of going back the other direction with gravity and wind pressure. So it's now going downwards. It's bending the opposite direction now slightly. And you can see here it looks like a bat. Almost looks like a bat. It's got a blob in the middle, and it's got 2 blobs either side of it. It's forming like a different shape. Now, a UFO wouldn't change shape. A drone wouldn't change shape, and a fighter jet wouldn't change shape like that, unless it's a really experimental craft. Now we're going to get motion blur as it's moving horizontal, not vertical, and it's still maintaining that shape. And you can see here, again, it's got curvature to the wings, changing downwards, and that's what Mark D'Antonio was. You can see the wing motion. And it's now flying past. You can see it's getting more and more detail, and we're starting to see some shape happening. But you got to remember, this is super exposure to see it from a far distance, so it still looks very white. It's whiter than it really is. But so that's the zooms ins I did, and this is where I was talking about how we calculated. So at this point, it's 1 second away, and it's banking vertically at that time, or almost vertically, and we're looking at we could see like it looked like 4 pixels or something like that. So it's banking, and you can see its wingspan about 4 pixels. So that's where we got for the calculations before. So this is the clearest frame of the bird that we got without too much exposure. Now, the motion blur is that sort of whispery stuff that we're seeing right on the leading edge here, because now it's almost closest to the camera, it's going to have least motion blur happening. but we still got some. And if we keep on going, we've got the screen snaps that I used in the lives pretty much. So there's a close-up of it, and to me that looks almost like a seagull. You know, it's got that seagull shape. You can see the what do you call it? The M pattern that's happening with the wings. You can see it's almost like angular wings happening there. And of course, we tried to overlay a falcon onto the image, but we couldn't quite get the right angle. And of course, we're going to have some of that whispery outline, which is the motion blur happening. But inside here is more defined shape happening, which still fits the right shape for a falcon gliding past the drone. And I think it should play some music now. I think the credits should come up.
Shazam.
Yeah.
Mic drop.
Yeah, looks like it's working. So yeah, that's a little video. Believe you know how many hours that took me just to put that little clip together for 5 minutes?
I only imagine.
Yeah, it took me probably 4 hours to make that video for 5 minutes. So anyway, yeah, it's not a good use of time, but as you can see, people like those 5-minute clips where it's sort of summed up and they don't have to watch hours on a live stream. What's Renee saying? Free Fighter. No, it did look like that sort of orb shape at the very farthest definition of the camera, because you're going to remember a pixel is like a circular shape anyway. You know, the sensors that we build on a camera make it look like a circle, you know, or a little square. When you put loads of them together and it starts forming a circle. So people here have been commenting, which I haven't had a chance to read them all. So James Green said, if it's a bird, then the size, speed, and calculations do fit. Hey, we got someone that agrees. I'm still on the fence though. Why? Why is he on the fence? Why camera cannot capture it clearly when if YouTube fastest drone, there's a video of a 400 mile per hour Falcon sized red jet drone. So I suppose that's one of these racing drones that can clearly be seen and filmed on the phone camera. So yeah, I've explained that. We get onto that. I said it depends on the camera settings. Was it in video mode or photo mode? These cameras can take snaps of 1/8,000, even this Utah drone, but live 10 I show the stats and more info if you watch. I'm just wondering if they use photo setting. Missed out the E there. I wonder if I can correct it. Photo setting. Why is it not coming up in underline? Where is it? Why is it not underlying that word? It must be a word, is it? That's come up now. This is what I mean. Half the time it don't come up. Setting. So I was saying, you can run whereabouts was it? Setting and set it to minutes of still. Well, of stills, I should say. So as you know, you can actually set your camera up to automatically take photographs. And if you set it on 1/8,000 frames a second, that's 8,000 photographs in a second, which would have been perfect for this drone footage. And you can say that you want to run the shutter doing that for a couple of minutes, and it makes all these individual images as fast as it can. Now I'll go over it in a minute, but apparently the video mode uses an electronic shutter, and a photo mode uses a mechanical shutter. That's why it can get the faster speed. Now, the mechanical shutter makes the clicking sound that you often hear on TV shows. Click, 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 which is no good for video mode if you want to record sound. So, but on a drone, all you're going to get is the fan noise anyway, unless you've got a directional mic on it, which I guess some drones might have. They may be able to block out the drone noise and film people on the ground and actually hear what they're saying. So they might have directional mics on it. They're getting better all the time. But yeah, so no one thinks about putting it into photo mode and say you want to record 10 minutes of these shots at really high speeds. So what you do is you get all those photographs together, it's basically what I said here, and join it into a video game, and you're going to have nice crisp images of something fast approaching. Images for a second. So this is like 5 in the morning when I was typing this up before I went to bed, trying to explain it to people. So I found this site here. You know, I asked that question last live stream. How shutter speed works when shooting video. Just as with stills photograph, it's important to choose the correct shutter speed when shooting video. So we talk you through it when shooting video. Still photographers will know that the shutter speed is used to control how movement and motion is recorded in a scene, in your scene. So if you're taking a picture of running water, for example, a slower shutter speed will give you blurred or smooth water, which is what we're seeing in the Utah drone footage. Whereas a shutter speed will freeze the water as it falls or flows, so you see a single drop. But in the video, the shutter works slightly different. For a start, with stills photography, you're relying on a mechanical shutter. But when you record in video, the noise of the shutter would be picked up during recording. So instead, the shutter opens at the start, and then an electronic shutter simulates the function of mechanical shutter whilst you're filming. So that always had me wondering. So that's why I found this site here, which is talking about it. I thought, why would you need a mechanical shutter though? You know, it doesn't make sense. Why can't it all be electronic? So there's all these questions still. Maybe because they need the sensors to sort of de-energize, and you can't get it with an electronic one. You can't de-energize enough when you're using an electronic one. An electronic one, they use a filter. So if they put a charge through like a glass plate, it makes it go super dark and it stops the light going in. So it's going to, that charged plate can only operate at a certain speed. So it's going dark to clear, dark to clear, dark to clear, and letting the light in. So the sensors can process and sort of like capture still of what the light was that it was seeing. Microsecond later, the light's going to be different because the object's moving really fast towards it. So it's, again, it's limitation of our technology and what it can do at the moment. I suppose eventually we'll be able to record true video with sound using electronic shutters only at one stage. So there's a lot of research there to be done. So when shooting, what does it say? So instead, the shutter opens and starts. Electronic shutter simulates the function of mechanical shutter. When shooting stills, you can shoot at any shutter speed you like, or at least whatever a shutter speed is appropriate for the effect you're aiming for and the environment you're working in. You can also capture images right up to 1/8,000 of a second. So that's 80,000, 8,000 separate images a second. If your camera has the function right the way down to long exposure lasting a number of seconds. So we knew this drone camera, when we looked at the stats, could do 8 seconds long exposure, which is quite long. But some cameras could go up even higher. and this one can actually do 1/8000, but they didn't have it on photo mode. If they had it on photo mode, that blur object would be so obviously what it was, and if it was a UFO, they would have made history with the footage and be on all the news channels and whatnot. But at the moment, they only had it on 1/60, which people think is a fast speed, and it's not. And it's just a blur. And you can see the blur was changing shape and was more blurry in between as it's approaching in the seconds in between, or the frames in between, say 10/60 to 50/60, and as it got closer to the drone, it got less blurry, and it goes past the drone. So the critical difference between the two disciplines is that you're limited to a single shutter speed while recording video, and that the shutter speed depends on the frame rate that you're shooting at, which is 60 frames a second. Most of the time that will be either 24 or 25 frames per second, and because of a 180-degree shutter angle rule, which means that your shutter speed should be double your frame rate. So the shutter speed's got to be, if it was filming at 60, it's going to be going back and forth, going dark and clear 120 is what they're saying. It's double the frame rate a second. For example, when shooting 24 frames, your shutter speed should be 1/50. What was that noise? I heard a noise. It's on.
Yes, that would be the massage feature in the chair. I'm it off.
No, it wasn't that.
Right.
I think it was on Discord. I think someone's. Oh, right. Have we got someone else on?
It's me.
Hey, I thought you were going to sleep.
Oh, hi.
We can't see you, though.
Yeah.
Are you on voice only?
Not now.
Oh, no, it's coming up now.
Okay.
Hi, Rob.
Hey, John. Okay.
So, where's your blood test tomorrow?
It's only round the corner from me, thank God.
Oh, right. Oh, you could be asleep and have a blood test done. You just sit in the chair and go to sleep.
Yeah.
Have you been watching, or you been just connected?
No, I was just watching the end of Alejandro's little talk, and I'm not really feeling too sleepy. There's no really point going to bed just to lie there, is there?
No. I think that fixes it. Oh, there we go. I'm still trying to figure out Discord. So this is Robert in UK, everybody. You probably know him. I thought we would have more people on because I overslept and people didn't wake me up in the house or make enough noise to wake me up like it has been. Normally there's been so much noise in the house you just can't sleep because we had visitors here and extra dogs in the house. And it was this constant noise. So yeah, we've been going over this Utah drone footage. I just played the clip, and we're talking about cameras. So we've just found out that the drone camera could have done 1/8000 frames a second, or 8,000 frames a second on photo mode, but it was in video mode. And video mode uses a electronic shutter, which can only do 60 frames a second. But if they had set the camera up in photo mode and said, take continuous snaps for 10 minutes and fill up the memory card on it, they would have had high definition 12 megapixel images, 4,000 by 800 pixels, and we would see what that object was that was passing the drone in clear HD fashion, or more than HD, because it's 3,000 pixels, not 1080p. So unfortunately they didn't do that. But it seems that photo mode uses a mechanical shutter where you get the click, click, click sound. Does your camera make click, click sounds? You got a new camera, haven't you?
SLRs tend to make that really clunky sound, don't they? Because they're like
Yeah, I can't hear you, mate. What's
camera
happened to your
and
volume?
oh,
Or is it me that's not volume control? Oh, it's just me. Oh, right, yeah.
okay.
Yep, that's
Can you hear
better.
me now?
Yep, I must have let Lynn.
Yeah, that really clunky sound. That's more on SLR cameras, isn't it? Single lens reflex.
Yep.
Yeah. I think with the digital, sorry, the mirrorless cameras, they're a lot quieter. They used to be a little bit behind the SLRs, which are like a full frame, bigger sensor, but of course they have interchangeable lenses with the mirrorless cameras.
But you still can hear the mechanical click when you take a still picture on it.
With the DSLR or the mirrorless camera.
Well, either. You both would have a mechanical shutter still.
All I know for sure is that a mirrorless camera is a lot quieter.
Yeah, but you still got a noise of the shutter speed when you take a photograph. But when you got it in video mode, in video mode, it's absolutely quiet. This is what they're saying. But on a drone,
right.
You could have it in photo mode and set it for 10 minutes of continuously controlling the mechanical shutter with the electronics, which allows it to block out the light while it's processing the photocells. And of course, you think though, why would you need this is the debate we're having, why would you need mechanical shutter for photographs and electronics for video? Why can't it be the same? You know, the electronics shutter, I'm saying, would be a filter, and it would be where you put current through it and it goes absolutely black and it stops the light passing through, and so it simulates a physical shutter, and then discharges and it goes clear again and lets the light through to the sensor. So that would be electronic shutter. But they're saying the cameras also have a mechanical shutter, which is the iris. So if we go back to camera, we call it aperture. I always forget how it's spelled. Apet. Single P, I think, in it. There we go. So if we look at a camera shutter, it comes up like the James Bond, you know, where he looks down the barrel, but it's actually what they call blades. Saw it there a minute ago. Where's Google is screwed up here. Hang on. Have to reload it again. There it was. Okay, images. So these are the camera irises or apertures. They have from 4 blades all the way up to 10 blades, I think, some of them. And they give you these different polygon shapes, you know, from pentagon, hexagon, square, diamond, all the way up to star patterns, which you see as camera artifacts on when you aim it at the sun. You see that it makes these funny patterns, and that's because it's passing through the iris of the camera. Even on video mode, because it's going to have this mechanical shutter open while the electronic one's working. From what we understand it anyway, so there's the different shapes there. And there's the square one, which causes these diamond shape, and some of them have it rotated around so it's like a diamond, that's direction. So you're seeing of the diamond where the people zoom in on the old handy cams and they got a square aperture in it and they turn into this diamond shaped UFO. Well, that's a limitation of the camera tech, you know, when they're trying to zoom in maximum focal point, you're at the edge of the iris of the camera here. So understanding how cameras work and where the artifacts come from, that solves it all, you know. So this guy was saying, why is there a video of another drone with a fast drone approaching it? Why is that not a blur? And I was saying, well, they probably had it in picture mode, not video mode, where it could take 1/8,000 stills a second. and they recorded for a certain amount of minutes as they were doing the experiment, and then they just put it back into a video by joining all those separate images together. They had a super and then adjust it, adjust the frame rate in the video editing software so it's back to normal speed again. They have this nice crisp, better than HD image of this object that's passing right close to it. So unfortunately, these movie guys weren't doing that mode. So let's have a look at what these other comments are. I know some people swore at me. Why not make it look like a typical saucer? This is one of the things I said in the thing. Why not make it look like a typical flying saucer? If you're going to make it CGI, you'd fake it so it's like a alien craft, wouldn't you? You wouldn't make it look like a blur. Because no one said all UFOs are real saucer, nor are they the same size or speed or color. Well, we can only go by what MUFON database says. And the ones that are in that 5% category are generally triangle shapes, which obviously that wasn't. It wasn't a triangle shape. And I'm not sure how many have been unverified as cigars. I'm not too sure on that one, but the other one is obviously the classic saucer shape. What I'm saying is, in that video, you could see that it wasn't a cigar because it was changing shape. It was bending upwards and going downwards, which, if you look carefully at frame by frame, in that second, that bird was moving its wings up and down, and within that 1 second, it was flexing. And drones don't do that, and UFOs don't do that as they're flying along. You don't see a cigar UFO that's bending up and down, unless it's one of those solar balloons, which people also call UFOs, but they're just a man-made object again. But you just missed out on it. But if I go back to the video,
I can't see that now at the moment.
Oh, you can't see my screen?
Hold on a sec. There's a YouTube thingy.
Oh, right. Did I not unmute my camera? Hang on. There you go. I forget when it crashes. When it crashes off.
Yeah, there we go.
You should have said you couldn't see my screen. When Discord crashes and I rejoin it, I have to manually click the camera icon for some reason. I don't know. It's kind of buggy. But this is my super soon coming up here.
Oh no! Going backward again?
Yeah, it sort of pops up behind the ridge. They're saying it pops up behind the ridge, but it's because the camera's moving forward and the bird is flying along this direction here, sideways to us, and because it's flapping its wings, and it sort of fades in and out, even fades in and out a wee bit before it shows up on that ridge in a solid block. So before then, I think they noticed it was back here somewhere. You could see 1 pixel show up, then disappear. Unfortunately, I didn't capture that bit in the video because I didn't think it was important. But this is when the camera starts to pick it up from 1 pixel onwards, and you can see that it actually turns into a cylinder shape from a blob, and it starts bending downwards as well as upwards. It's bending like a banana at the moment, because that's what you get when the wings, when a bird's flying to the pressure, the wing tips of it is going to bend upwards. And now it's going against gravity. The wings are bending downwards now slightly, and as it passes the drone. So this is the super soon up here. So it shows up here roundabouts. There it is. So it's coming to view here, and you can see here it's banking this direction at the moment. Although there's only a few blobs of pixels. And there you can see it changing shape here. It changed back into a more orb shape. You can see it's gradually changing shape, but it's only 1, 2, 3, or 4 pixels. Now it's gone vertical. So now that's the wingspan of the bird that we're looking at, as it's now changing direction and heading towards the drone to check it out to see whether it can eat it. It's not sure on it. In that 1 second, it's going to fly past it and see what it is. So it's beating against the air pressure. You can see now it's turned into a banana shape, which UFOs don't do. So this is why we know it's not a drone or a plane or a UFO, because UFOs don't do that. From the 5% sightings out there that have been confirmed to be unknowns, they don't do that sort of crazy shape changing. So it's still going up. So the wings are bent up like a bird, going against wind pressure this way. And then it's going to sort of straighten up and head towards the drone and fly past it as it checks it out. And you'll see the wings now start going downwards, because now they've got gravity applied to the end of the feathers. And it's flying past the drone, and here we still got the bird shape happening, and more of a bird shape happening here. But this is super exposed, brightened and all that, so it's more bright than it should be, so we can see it from a fair distance away. So at the end of the video, I show more closer, non-enhanced pictures where we can actually see the shape of the object when it's right close to the camera. But why, if you're going to make that at CGI, why wouldn't you make that into a nice little silver craft or a cylinder craft or a triangle craft or whatever, and do?
It's not CGI.
Yeah, that's what I'm telling these guys. It's not CGI, because you'd have a shape that would be constantly identifiable from a distance of being a spinning saucer. You'd make it. You wouldn't have it white for starters. You would have it as like silver with the sun reflecting off it. You know, it would be glints of white and yellow or orange as the sun's reflecting off the surface of the silver craft as it's flying past. And the wings now going downwards, and it's looking at us sideways. So this is where I calculated it from, where I thought we could see the actual wingspan, which is about 4 pixels. So I used it in the calculator beforehand. Using optics and calculations, you can work out how far the camera can see. And this is the clearest frame that we got in the footage, where it's been slightly brightened. You can tell by the ground here, to bring out details. And you can see here in the next frame, I got it zoomed in. And that it looks almost like a sea. You know, you got that sort of M shape happening, you know, the MM where you draw skinny lines in an M shape. And you can see here the wingtips coming in. There's the body, and there's the other wingtip going around, similar shape to this. And it's sort of gliding past the drone, probably looking around to see what it is, because it probably hasn't seen one before. You know, this noisy drone is seeing if it's a danger to it or something it could eat, obviously. And that's the ridge line behind here. Now we got some
territorial.
Yeah, and you can see here it's got some motion blur, but when it's at the edge of the camera, they're almost at equal speed, because it would have sort of glided past, and the camera was moving at 13 meters per second, and the motion blur would have been reduced the most when it was at the edge of the camera, which is this frame here. So we're still not getting any details, but we're sort of getting a possible shape within that blurriness happening. So I'm saying, yeah, that one looks most likely a bird shape. It doesn't look like a cylinder. If it was a cylinder craft, you'd expect it to be more consistent with a cigar shape. It's not a triangle shape, because it's got this curvature going on here either side. You'd expect it to be more defined, and plus not to be white. You know, if you're going to if you're going to make a UFO that's using cloaking technology and silver or black, it's not going to be white, because white is the most obvious one to see in the blue sky. Why would you paint your craft white, bright white, like NASA does and SpaceX does? Because they want it to be visible from on their cameras, and they want to reflect all the sunlight while they're in orbit. But UFOs use other technology where they don't need to worry about that sort of stuff, but they want to be not so much visible to people. So they're going to have cloaking, they're going to have black skin craft. So they fly around mostly at night time and abducting people, which is basically what most people were saying is happening, is they're being abducted. But even that happens in daytime and you don't see UFOs. So they obviously got some cloaking technology. You know, and they're not going to have a UFO hovering above the street, abducting someone as he's driving along in a tractor, so everybody can see it happening. So I just don't think this is a UFO, and I don't think it's CGI, and I think it's just a white bird that's passing the drone. And the white bird, in this case, we believe is a falcon, because the speed that it approaches the drone matches up. So that's all I was going to say on that anyway. But as you can see down here, people are still open. Have we got Gerard with us here? What's happening? Whose image is that? Oh, is that you? You turned your image off, have you?
He did.
Oh, right.
I think he said it was right back.
Oh, right. I just wondering why the image changed, because we had him on screen before.
No, I just switched over.
All right. So this guy say, why not make it look like a typical saucer? He's questioning me. Of course, no one said it. All UFO that are real are saucer, nor do they say the same or speed or color. So what do I have to say to this guy? Watch my latest live 100. I'm talking about your comment now. Wasn't it amplifying up enough? Tell you what, UFO people really are hard to convince, I find. Comment now on live 100. In the slow motion, you can see it's not three basic. Well, there's actually four. You also get orbs as well. So four basic shapes. Of orb, a triangle, cigar, I suppose you'd call it. Although a cigar can be sort of thick at one end, can't it? I suppose it depends. Yeah, and classic saucer. Classic, they call it Mexican hat, isn't it? Well, we'll just call it saucer.
I've stayed in Mexican Hat. I have. Mexican Hat, Utah. It's a one hotel and one Circle K. Boom. There you go. That's great.
So it's not the four basic saucer shapes, and it's changing shape continuously. In that 1 second. Now we see it slowed down, right? But you got to remember that's 1 second of footage that we watched. So yeah, shows how much you had to slow it down and enhance it just to see from when it first appears to flies past the drone. But there were a few places, a couple of flashes where it was seen on the ridgeline beforehand, which I didn't show in the footage, but I don't think it was really needed. Change shape. So I'm sort of had enough on this Utah case, but I think this has got to be the final say on it all. Yes, I did see the end and have seen many other people do a lot more to try debunking it. So how many hours do I have to do to try and prove that that it's a bird? Debunking it. What's that say? In not work. I'm not sure what he's saying there. You seem to think a bird came the entire way, banked the turn, and never flapped wings. Well, we saw it changing its wing shape, and it kept that speed. I fly drones every day, and others. I'm not sure what all that stuff on the end was. It was not a bird. Nothing. This video shows it clear enough to show a bird. So I'm not sure if that made any sense to you. It didn't really make much sense to me. But I'll just say you can clearly see it as an orb, then a vertical line, then line of white. Then it deforms into a banana, banana shape, then shape one direction as Banks turns. Drones don't do that. The shape is solid. So I don't know if these people are watching the same video I just watched. I don't know. What's going on here? I can't. Why is the font so small? My font seems so smaller for YouTube for some reason. I think it used to be a bigger font, didn't it? Something's got reset here, I think. Didn't I have it bigger than that? Let's see. Let's see if I can up it. 90%. How did it get smaller? Maybe that's because that's because they changed the player. See how it sort of zooms in the player as well? Because they mucked around with the player design recently. So it goes off the edge of the screen and we can't see the controls over here till it's 90%. That's just crazy. So that means now we've got to suffer a small font because I can't scale up the font separate to the player window. There's always things changing for the worse for Google. Wow, it's clearly not a bird. Has anyone seen the Turkey UFO? It's the same one with aliens in the thing. Does that make any sense to you guys? It didn't really make sense to me.
No, not at all. But we know now that Debunked did an absolutely great job of debunking that one. It was a cruise ship. I mean, the Turkey. UFO now.
No.
That was
It was actually internal lens reflection. It was internal workings.
I don't think so. If you look at Metabunk's work on that one, you'll
You got to
find
remember the Turkey video was a collection of probably 30 videos of the UFO, and
okay.
there was a whole selection. One was a cruise ship, I think. Another one was lights of the windmills on the other side of the coast, and one was an orb, which you could see it was just like a blinking orb flying slowly across the sky. And they said there was no planes flying at that time. You got to remember, Metablank people don't believe in UFOs. You always have to remember that. So they're going to look for any natural explanation for everything. But they didn't debunk the internal lens refraction business. Well, while we're talking about the Turkey one, we'll go to it, because it was one of my first videos I did to the channel, actually. So that just shows you that guy's commented. He obviously has never watched my channel, so he doesn't know what I've done. I'll just bring that one up again. But in there, I've got a link to a debunking site that shows the one with the Dr Leir with the aliens moving in it. Now, that's not a cruise ship, but it doesn't explain. Well, I'll just go over it anyway. It doesn't explain why there's aliens that are moving their heads sideways in it. Yeah, the fonts is annoying that I can't scale it up now. So this is one of my first videos I did here, the Turkey UFO footage. And I'll post it down the side. And I'll just pause it. I'll turn off the sound. And I'll post it down here. No, what's it only say one watching? Is it Renee or is he gone? Turkey UFO aliens. Of course, I also used a frame from this as a side shot for the Mojo video as well. But in here, episode 1, there you go. That's one of my first videos, 9th of December 2016. This one here with the shape is internal lens, not an actual craft. So I didn't know that at the time. And what was that there? That was house lights, I think, or some lights across the bay. It's recorded, obviously, 2007. What's that, VHS tape still back then? Handycam videos. But you can see here, you can see a horizon with lights anyway, and he's zooming up to the sky. There's some object up here that he's trying to zoom in on. Now, if the horizon's in here of the lights, and this might be the other side of the coast over here, how can a cruise ship be up this high? You tell me, how can a cruise ship be up in the sky that high? And it looks like an orb at this stage. And I'm not sure if he's moving the camera, but he looks like he is. He's zooming in. There's a lamppost with a light on top, like an antenna kind. Here's the houses. And this is the orb that he was trying to capture. No way is that lights across the bay. Could be a plane, but we're not seeing any typical blinking lights. Are you seeing this all right, guys?
Yeah.
So now it's passing over the house, right? It's not over the bay. It's actually flying off. Doesn't look like a typical plane. Now, this is the internal lens one, where they're zoomed right in on another day. I think it's not. I think it's a different day. That's the 1st of August. What did it have the date on the other one? And that was July 10th. That's the day before. So the day before he filmed this orb. So the next day it come back, and he tried to zoom in on it, and he got this weird looking shape happening.
Yeah, it looks like the edge of the cruise ship.
Yeah. No, it's internal lens. We know it's internal lens. When you zoom right in with one of those big 2-foot long telescopes attached to the camera, there's imperfections where the sensors actually record in the second add-on to the lens. You know, when they screw it on. This is the lens, internal lens, where it's curving around and little holes in it, which I'm not too sure about, so that there might be screw heads in it. Now, I don't know if this is the Dr. Leir footage. I think this is the guy's footage. Was it the Dr. Leir footage that did that one? I'm not sure. But you can see it's blurry and horrible. And Dr. Leir's footage is cleaned up and sharp looking. But this looks all hazy, and I think here this guy was faking it, you know, with the internal lens. Then I'm not too sure where so this is where it gets a bit confusing. I'm not sure when Dr. Leir tried to do it with the same camera. But yeah, it looks like you're saying that looks like a cruise ship. Yes, it kind of looks like it could be a cruise ship out to sea. We got no reference points to the ground on this one. This is also another day. So again, it's August the 24th. So we've flipped onto a third video here, which was before the other two. Because the other two were... Oh no, the other two was July and 1st of August, was it? I've forgotten already. This is the third one that's further on. And it still looks like that same banana shape happening. So that guy's saying it looks like this in the Utah footage. He's saying it looks like this shape. Of course, it kind of looks like a bird shape. So he's saying this one's got aliens in. So he thinks it's this ship that's passing the camera drone. And if it was a big ship like that, you know, it would create some sort of wind gust and the camera should shake, and it doesn't. So how it does that, I don't know. But why would a UFO look like something from Battlestar Galactica? Because that kind of reminds me of the Battlestar. But here we go. We got something that looks like aliens in it. So this is 28th. Now, I'm not sure if this was the Dr. Leir footage, but apparently he went to Turkey to do a conference, right? And they saw a UFO, like a bright light outside, so in the clouds, so they recorded it. And I'm not too sure if they filmed this at nighttime themselves on the 28th, but here what looks like 2 alien heads inside here. And a window, but it's actually the edge of the camera, internal camera, and I'm just wondering what the heads are here. Funny looking screw heads, if that's possible. I don't know. I haven't got a camera or one of these lenses.
Is that what that is?
That's the edge of a camera internal lens, and this is a screw head.
My God.
But it will be.
Yeah, there's a screw head. That one's not moving, right? But the famous Dr. Leir footage, they looked at it this here, but why has this got 2 screw heads in it? See, I can't work out what footage they got, because that looks very blurry and out of focus to me, and they don't look like it's moving at all. Just screw heads, 2 funny screw heads. I wish I knew someone that actually owned a particular camera. So this guy did some analysis on the Turkey video, you know, the famous Dr. Leir one. I'll just keep on going. And so I screen captured the web page. You can see here, I've only got on 480p, so it's a wee bit blurry, I think. Let's see. Oh, no, it's even worse quality for some reason. Normally 480p is good enough. See if it'll work, like stuff up. Might be able to read it better now. There you go, you can read it now. So we'll just carry on. So the last footage was recorded in 2009, so it went a couple of years. Was it Dr. Leir that recorded the 209 footage?
So yes.
So here's that one where we're talking about the two screw heads on the edge of the lens. Which I now believe it is, but I can't figure out how they stabilize it and got the aliens moving with the big eyes. No, he's enhanced it, overexposed it now, and it looks like we got two black eyes and alien heads going on. So these are all the different frames he grabbed, enhanced it, and basically stabilized it, lined them up. And it looks very convincing. So I can't figure out why screw heads would be moving. He reckons you can see it looking down. So it looks like that last footage that we looked at, doesn't it? And there's the edge of the camera lens again. And it starts to look like an alien grey. Now, how did we get a screw head that looks like an alien grey head? Now, he's saying the alien's looking downwards. You can see the black eyes there. Is it like a round, one of those round thumb screws? I'm not too sure why it would get black eyes unless the video's been modified. So it looks like
just one possible thing that I don't know if you've thought of. You more than likely have. There's a lot of people use cameras, use lenses that aren't compatible. Use cameras that are lenses that aren't compatible with each other.
Yes.
Then you use like a converter.
Yeah, I think this is what is.
I can't imagine that running too smoothly. Can you?
No, I think this. See, it just changes your whole perspective. If once you know that we're looking inside the camera working of the photo lens at maximum zoom. Now we know we're looking at inside the rim of the lens of the camera, and we're looking at thumb screw heads. It changes your whole perception. It sort of ruins the most fantastic UFO footage ever that was seeing alien creatures inside a UFO. So now we keep on going. Let's see, I think there might be something more. So I was going to remake this video and say, oh, more information has come to light that is actually internal lens. And that's just a notch in the side with the two screw heads, or two or three screw heads. So, no, kind of looked like it was moving there in those frames, though, but could have been edited, you know. It definitely looks like it's got eyes there. There's no doubt about it. And it looks like it's sort of moving, looking around. So I'm not sure how that's possible if it's like a screw head. Maybe they were wiggling the camera somehow and it was sort of flexing the screw head inside. I don't know. It's possible. But there are some links down here that talks about it in more detail that I've posted updates in. As you know, if I put up a video, which I later find out that had fooled me, because this was 2 years ago before I had learned anything about cameras. Now I know quite a bit about cameras from doing this every day for 2 years. Now I know that something's not right with this video recording. Either it's been modified in editor, and because Dr. Leir's name was put to it, we would trust him to be honest person, but maybe he's not. Maybe he's not so honest, or maybe he got duped by his right-hand cameraman. Maybe the cameraman duped him, you know, to make
Well, hold on, wasn't it John Leir? Wasn't it John Leir that was involved with Bob Lazar going out to Area 51?
No, Dr. Leir, the one that does implant operations.
Ah, yeah, okay.
You got the wrong Leir. You're thinking of two different people. Yeah. Dr. Leir is the one that died from, what was it? What's it called? You know, like smallpox, but it's not smallpox. Chills or something like that. What's it called? What do they call that disease that comes back when you, something to do with your immune system? It comes back and you get these little lumps on you, and itchy lumps. It's not
sure that one, Paul.
What's the name of it? Not smallpox, not smallpox, but it's called shingles. Shingles, I think it is. It's called shingles.
I didn't know that was fatal.
It causes all sorts of other complications. It's like a variation of if you type in small shingles, that's what he got, and that's what basically killed him. Shingles. He suffered it for years, because some people in the later years get it come back. Part of shingles. Let's see. I'm not sure if that's how you spell it though. Is that the one? Shingles. Shing. I think it's got an H in it.
SHINGLES.
Shingles. Ministry of Health New Zealand. Is there a better page? Shingles Health. Shingles Family Health Diary. Here we go. Let's just find out what shingles are. UFO channel shingles, but as part of my one I did on UFO deaths of ufologists and scientists, it's one of them. So how are we going for time? I don't do too bad for bringing up topics, do I? When I don't have anything planned. So it's amazing what you can talk about. So let's amp it up. So shingles begins with the sensation of burning or tingling or under the skin. To a week later, the rash appears on one side of the body only and following the line of a nerve. The rash is actually collections of blisters which eventually crust over and heal. Well, the blister stage shingles is contagious, although the only way to transmit the virus is by direct contact of live virus from a fluid-filled blister. Sounds horrible. If you transmit the virus and infect someone who has not had chickenpox, not smallpox, chickenpox, which is very similar, I guess, they will develop chickenpox and not shingles. As this is a secondary disease that cannot happen unless the virus has got into the nerve system. Shingles affects 5% of all New Zealanders at some stage in their life. I think my dad had it, and it showed up, and they gave him some cream and some antibiotics or something, and it went away again. Up to 20% of those over 70 years old, and that's probably when Dad got it in his 70s. So yeah. What causes shingles? Shingles is caused by the same virus that gives you chickenpox. Versilia soter. Sounds like alien critter. Sounds like alien from something out of space. Unlike other viruses that cause infections like germal measles, rubella, or flu influenza, the chickenpox virus does not disappear when symptoms have gone. Instead, it plays Trojan horse for lying dormant and being protected by the immune system. When it activates, and this is thought to be due to the change in the immune system, the dominant virus reawakens and begins to grow back along the nerve system in the skin, where it manifests as shingles. So basically, you get chickenpox, you get cured over it as a kid. I suppose we've all had injections for all that sort of stuff anyway. And then it just lays dormant in your system, and when you get older, your immune system gets weakened, and then it shows up again. So that's what they're saying there. So that's what happened to Dr. Leir. So Dr. Leir, I did show in the Turkey video there, but we'll bring up his face so everybody knows who we're talking about. Dr. Leir. If you spell his name wrong, it comes out Dr. Leir, which is not good for the UFO field. Is he a Dr. Leir? If I can get my keyboard to work. Dr. Leir. I and E are different around the wrong way. And there's Dr. Leir, the famous implant surgeon. He disappeared off the side again. And he does all these implant stuff. So these are all the implants, bits and pieces he's taken out of people, which they're saying has meteorite elements in it, you know, which is from off-planet isotopes. So they claim anyway. Just summing up what they're saying about these implants. So they're all various shapes and crazy bits of, I don't know, metal or whatever they're taking out the bodies. There's some of them say nerves are even attached to it. But a lot of the skeptics say, well, if you, through your life, you step on glass, you know, microfragments, and then that sort of builds up scar tissue around it and it ends up being a lump. Same with metal fragments. So the skeptics are debunking it as that, but doesn't explain why a lot of the people have the triangle patterns on their skin where the implants are and stuff like that. So there's more going on there than meets the eye when it comes to implants, but they're there anyway. So he's not with us anymore, rest in peace. And so he presented the famous footage, which we now know is internal lens and screw heads. And the wobble is because of camera artifacts, probably through the poor quality back in 2009 of video recordings on VHS tapes, or what is it? They didn't have record straight onto CD back then, did they? They might have done. I can't remember. But before then, they used to have these little tapes and video recorders that used to record. What did movie studios use? They would have had.
You could have converted it into digital format then, I'm sure.
Yeah, but this will be off a tape though. So you got tape artifacts, you know, the noise from the magnetic tape itself. It's not like it's not HD quality, if you know what I mean. But anyway, if we go down here, there's a link somewhere that I posted an update where we can actually see what they're talking about. New info. Debunked link. Don't know if it was that. Could be. Found some more interesting photographs. So that was that one. So let's see if that still works. So this is where I would have taken my information off to make the little video clip. Here it is. This was I made the video clip. I found this link here, which shows all the different UFOs they claim to be the Turkey one. So here's the internal lens one. Internal lens, internal lens again, and they're saying this is where it was here. But some of them might be UFOs, so we'll keep on going. But I think the alien heads are screw heads now. I'm pretty sure they're screw heads. And camera artifact going on, so it looks like they're moving. The black eye I just can't figure out myself at this stage. But unless we can get a close-up image of those screw heads to see what they look like, they might have little curvatures that go around, bend around, and makes it look like eyes. And they may have turned the screw heads somehow, so it rotates them, and it looks like they're moving their heads around. It might be just some clever faking going on. So here's some other videos of the lights. So we've now got these 5 lights that sort of hung over the sky. Apparently, UFO Proof did some analysis and found there's a wind farm over the other side of the bay. And that's lights on top of the wind farm. That I agree with, but I don't agree this up here is to do with the wind farm. But we now know recently that it's an internal lens, because someone has done another website where they show their lens that they've got matches up. So I'll bring that up in a minute. So there's the internal lens again with the notches and screw heads, and there's the wind farm again over the other side of the bay. But there was some more photographs taken. So that's the wind farm side again. Internal lens. And then we got people that actually saw the UFO with their own eyes. So there's a lot of interviews that they do. With the lion, we don't know. But they may have seen something. And of course, Sirius was there. That was Dr. Leir over there investigating, his team investigating. And Dr. Leir was with them at the time, and he saw the UFO in the sky with his own eyes or something like that. So that's the camera they're using here. So that's using one of those mini tapes, right? It doesn't look like a CD one. Is that a CD one? I don't think so.
No.
But apparently you screw on another lens over here, and that's where you get the internal lens problem happening. So it talks about Dr. Leir there. Can I zoom in? Let's see. Is it talking about Dr. Leir? Oh no. Let's define the brand Canon DMGR1A. Its objective is 100 times digital zoom. Well, digital zoom's no good. Sony brand VCH-HDG 1758 model. That sounds like it's going to have one of those mini tapes that they record onto. A mini DV Canon maximum. So that's the specs. But was that the one with the internal lens reflection happening? I don't know. What's that one? That was the party outside. So let's see if I can play that one without getting copyright. This is at Dr. Leir's lecture, apparently. Let's see if I can zoom in for you. So this is the last one to be filmed, I think. May 14th, 2009. Everyone's outside with the cameras, for looks of it, filming it. Still not really good quality though, is it, to what we're used to now? And they're looking up at the sun here, which is not a good thing. But we're getting lots of lens flare there. And they're trying to zoom in on this object in the sky. It could be a plane. There we go. It's moving quite fast. So as you know, we'd run that through Plane Finder and everything now. If we knew the time, location, and if they had Plane Finder going back that far. Plane Finder only goes back to 2016. So this is before they started collecting data. So this isn't someone else's camera, is it? So it doesn't look like a round orb, but it could be anything really, couldn't it? Could be a miler balloon that someone threw up just to catch everybody out. You know how they do at these conventions, like Contact in the Desert. Just throw up a drone with a light on it or at night time, or throw up some miler balloons and have everybody filming it. So that was the same witness with his camera, the same. Is that in there? Is it? So there you can see the lens. It looks like it's like screwed on to the camera. A lens extender, or whatever they call it. So yeah. So that's what I'm saying. There's a whole mixture of UFO footage there. So something there that could be mitre balloons, it could be planes, or it could be even a real UFO. We don't know. And then you got the internal lens happening, and you also got lights across the bay, which could be ships or it could be the wind farm. So that's why the whole Turkey case is ridiculous. I do it for time anyway. 4 o'clock. I might have to wrap up soon.
Yeah, looking of time, Paul. I'm gonna have to go to bed now to catch 5 hours sleep if I can get sleep. Right.
Yeah.
So okay, bye, John.
Okay.
Take care, Rob.
Bye, Paul.
Okay, thanks for joining
And,
us.
yeah, see you guys soon.
I'll try and do it better next Friday.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'll try and wake up earlier next time so you can join.
Yes, which should be Thursday for me. I've got to remember that Thursday for me.
Yeah, Thursday. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
No problems.
Well,
thanks, guys.
Well, actually, it's 1 a.m. Friday for him, isn't it? So, but people don't think 1 a.m. being a new day. They still see it as Thursday. You know what I mean? That's how we interpret it, because we're night owls. We see it 1 a.m. It's still the same day. Yeah. It's not until the sun starts coming up then we think, oh, that's a new day. But it doesn't sort of work that way with the globe called Earth. But that's still good. It's good that he brought that up, because in the comments, and of course, I think he did a recap this one that I did way 2 years ago before I knew more of the facts and more of the details. But I can't disclaim that can discount those not actually being a UFO that people were seeing, and humans were maybe parts unknown about internal camera workings and some hoaxing going on. I don't know. And the lights across the bay were obviously mistaken, but they were saying the UFO come back and was hovering over the bay, and the lights turned on. People were just could easily be confused, you know. So I think there's a bit of confusion there, some IFOs, and probably even some legit UFOs thrown in. We don't know 100%, but now I believe those alien heads, which I thought looked pretty convincing to me back then, are not so convincing now, unless somehow they zoomed in, got the internal camera workings, and the blobs are actually what they were filming inside the ship. Somehow I don't think so. But you can't rule it out 100%, where they sort of got a crew image over superimposing on the rim of the camera internal. It's possible, I guess, but highly unlikely, you know. So yeah, but I was going to show them the internal camera one, so I'll just post those links here. All info on Turkey UFO. I thought we might have a lot more people watching, you know, I put in the time, but maybe if I update my information on my webpage now and do it 1 p.m. every Friday, people will get used to it and more will join us at night time. So that was that one, and if we go to this other one on Metabug, is that the one I'm after? I'm not too sure. I think it might be updated. So the Turkey footage, the famous Dr Leir footage with the lens. I don't think that's the site I was looking for. Yes. I think the link might be on the page though. Let's see, what else have I got? posted down here. Everything's going a bit slow for some reason. Oh, my voice is probably cracking up 100%. Maybe it's all I've got then. Hang on, I got more comments underneath. Maybe that's it. Here we go. What's that one? I think that's the one we're after. Here. Translate. Could be that one. What have I got on this one? Let's see. This is deciding. Oh, that was that day one we just watched, where we could see it was a daytime sighting of the UFO. So might be this one. Let's see. Probably written in Italian or something, is it? What's it translating from? French. So it's a French person. I think it might be this site where he's showing a similar camera and telephoto lens. Skeptics vs flying saucers. So there's the lens, right? So it kind of looks like it's bent in there. Is that what they're saying? That it's got a bent in rim? So there's the notches, but I don't see any screw heads. Notches, they screw on. See that?
Yep.
Can we see any screw heads there? Let me see if I can zoom right in. Does look like it's got a kind of notch on the side here, sticking inwards. It's got some other notches inside here, but I can't quite see what's in there. Did you say something? Because that sort of CPU's peaking and I'm not hearing you. So we'll just keep on going down. A montage of some of the films. We don't want that. So these are the close-up of the alien heads, which we think might be little screws, micro screw heads maybe, inside the lens cover. Yeah, it kind of looks convincing, like alien grey big heads with big eyes though. So here he's talking about the edge of the lens. Creating artifacts. And this is the one that Robert was talking about, the cruise ship. So this could be the cruise ship one, not the lens. I don't know. Was that another suggestion? Let's see. I can't read the print. Hypothesis proposed is what was filmed would be a reflection of the windows of the front of a large yacht. I think that's still the internal lens that we're seeing, aren't we? But I can see how people.
Yeah, I don't think.
You can see,
Yeah.
you can see how people could think that it might be one of these cruise ships. Reflection of the windows at the front and various levels underneath, but it doesn't sort of fit for me overall. Because I would have thought it would have been more closer to the shape at the top rather than down the bottom here. What do you think of that one?
You know, I can see where people can get that idea that it's going to be a UFO, but I don't think that's the case in the Dr. Leir thing.
No, I think we're looking at internal lens workings, you know, the add-on thing. And the little screw heads. I've said it a million times now. Now, before I used to believe 100% that was aliens moving their heads and looking down because the eyes, you could see the eyes and the big heads, you know. But now I'm not too sure because unless they zoomed in and got an image over image, and we actually are seeing aliens inside the hole in the lens. What's the possibility? You know, it's got to be 1 to 1 million of getting that 100% right. So I don't know. So now they're saying it could be a speedboat out in the water. So I can't see that being a speedboat. They're saying it's the side of a speedboat. So you're looking at the side of the speedboat. I still think the internal lens makes a lot more difference, makes more sense, I should say. But yeah,
Interesting. There's some very clever suggestions out there.
Yeah, you know, people trying to rationalize it, why it couldn't be a UFO. So this is the Debunked, but it's in French and translated. I don't think it will copy across actually, because the link is going to be too long. I could post it in Discord if people are on Discord. I'll post it in Discord. No, you just get it off the YouTube video above. Yeah, I'll just say see Debunk comments implies for internal probably what letters didn't work. Oh, and it looks pretty good. T didn't work there. Camera butts and sort of bits used next to on my YouTube. So there you go. Just proves that when I started, I made mistakes as well. Episode 1, I should say. So yeah, I was the same as you guys once upon a time. Now I'm sort of more critical thinking. So even when the Mojo video came up, that I still didn't know about the internal lens thing until up to about 3 months ago. I think it was 4 months, 5 months ago, something like that. And I thought, oh dear, I've been caught out. But it happens. It catches all of us at some point. All of us get caught on some sort of hoax or illusion in this case. So do go and have a look at those links anyway. And there's one on Metabunk here. That might paste across. Is that the Metabunk one? This one got a picture of the camera. Someone's actually taken a picture of the camera, a better image than the other site has. Metabunk. I'll just bring it up in a minute. I'll just post the links. Metabunk. It shows middle of the page, I think. Midway. Internal lens used. I think it will work. There we go. So if we scroll down here, so this is going to cover similar stuff. Nah. Yeah, that's a better one that the guy's done here. What's his name? Mick West. So there you go, the superstructure at the top here. I can see how that sort of fits, but it's not 100%. Notice they're doing the overlay like I normally do to try and really see if it really matches. There's a close match there. But no cigar, yeah. No cigar, because this side bit here doesn't sort of work for me. But now we know if we scroll down further, someone says it looks like an internal lens. So we keep on going down. and sort of gives you the aha moment. So here we go. Here's a picture of the camera. So there's the two guys. The screw-on lens.
Yep.
And there's the lenses. And basically there's meant to be a screw thread on the inside where you can put another telephoto lens screw into it. So they're talking about the angle of view that they had, because they're filming ends of the camera. But we got down here somewhere. I noticed they don't talk about the wind farm that UFO Proof brought up, which is quite interesting. I would have added that in by now on the site. I think people just lost interest in the turkey footage. But to me, that's the lights across the bay there. It's just that you don't see it because it's an optical illusion. That definitely looks like it could be a wind farm to me, that one. And that one too in the daytime. Or evening, I should say. That's when it's starting to get dark, I think. That one there, not too sure on. That one could actually be a real UFO. May the 17th. But then again, is that not what looks like a moon? They've overexposed the moon, so that was probably just the moon out of focus. See that?
Yep.
That definitely looks like a moon. Oh, yep. They said it's a moon down here. Okay, cool. So they've picked that one again, and this again one I think is not the curvature of that craft, but it's actually wind farm across the bay, even though it fits the shape of the other one. So we can be fooled so easily. And then now they're saying it's lights on a cargo ship, but they still haven't mentioned about the wind farm that's across the bay. So some other good possibilities there, of course. The lights on a ship could easily be that. The moon again. So they're saying these other ones are not actually UFOs. But how that one that's flying over the houses, I don't think they've ever explained that one. But it could be a plane, it could be anything, I guess. But yeah, again, it's the moon. So where's this lens? They're talking about high mask lights. So where's that one? So this one here, another video or photograph, is it? No, I think that one's just the moon. But they're saying it could be this light, which is possible. It kind of fits, 7 meters. Could be. It could be a light, high mass light, but to me it looked like a moon out of focus. Daytime snaps. I thought I would have hit the lens by now. Or did I go past it? Where's the lens? I must have gone past it. I'm pretty sure it's on here. So even that one, you can see here, it's a circle. We're seeing the edge of the lens happening here. See that? Or they're filming it through or they're filming it through binoculars. Something like that. A monoscope. I'm pretty sure there's a picture of a lens here. What's this popping up? Yeah, no. No, I'm pretty sure they had a close-up of it. Not sure where I saw it, but I've come across it. Maybe it's not on this page after all. The object doesn't really look like a cruise ship to me. It doesn't look like a real object. Apparently, using a camera, had a teleconverter on it. I can't help thinking that looks more like the reflection of a camera bezel or something. I'm sure someone put up an image of a camera bezel that sort of matched what they're showing here, but I can't seem to find it now. But I think it's debunked now. I should really.
Oh, it thinks.
I should really edit. I should really edit that now. I should follow my own principles. You see, we should change it to debunked. Oh, piss off. Stupid YouTube. They keep wanting to annoy me. Debunked. Fully. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that one's solved now. There is a possibility. So how do I save it? Okay, that now should be dated. Should have saved it. Why is it not saved? It's probably too long. I can't put debunked in it. Let's see. We visited. Got to chop off something off the end here. Aliens enhanced. So I'll just reduce this bit at the end here. What's going on? So this is the Vidity editor side of things, which you probably haven't seen before. But yeah, that should probably save now. Still refusing to go. I thought I cut out enough. UFO. Get rid of footage. That's got to give us enough now. Save. Oh yeah, it worked that time. Debunked fully now. And that's the description. E key's not working. See my live 100 for live debunk. And extra links and comments. So this kind of makes me upset that that famous video from Dr. Leir is actually solved now. Because I really want some real footage. And I think the only people that've got that are the American government. And extra links and comments and below. So that's what an honest channel, UFO channel, should do. If they put up a UFO video and later find out that they were mistaken, they should delete the video, or they should provide information why it's debunked, which makes more sense. So you could leave it up and then just put the links to why it's debunked, or make a new video and link to the video in the header, which is basically what I've said here. But at the moment, I haven't actually got a link to this live stream, have I? Actually, I could. Let's see. I did paste it somewhere, didn't I? It should be on here. Is there a share button? Yeah, there is. I don't want to stuff up the live stream. So I could put that there in the header too. So if your team's watching, this is what you got to do.
Wow.
Now we can go back to the how people see it. Hopefully it's all updated. Now it should say debunked. And that's probably all I got time for today, unfortunately, because I was so late. I was going to look at this other stuff.
What?
Yeah, that's all right. So here is updated now. As you can see, debunked fully, and the link should be here. Oh, didn't I not save it? Phew, where's my link gone? Did I not hit the save button? I clicked out of it, did I? Oh, bugger. Let's redo that again. That was a silly thing to do. Oh no, it's there. It's kind of strange, but I didn't save it. So it remembered it. Okay, let's save it. Okay, now let's try it. I suppose you're disappointed that the turkey one's debunked now as well.
No, that one was always back brain.
So it should be here now. Yeah, there it is. The link's there now to this live stream. So we can close down now. So that was going back to the comments here. I think I got almost to the end here. It won't scroll. Why is it not scrolling? Oh yeah, it's at the end, that's why. So I think we got almost to the end. No, I still believe it's a bird. And you believe in God too, right? So even though you can now see how it moved in the end clip, and it is natural, not man-made, etc., and change in shape, various points in 1 second, and the calc fits exactly for visibility of the object mix a camera can do. Wow, I say. Another say this video is shit. Go and watch the alien and UFO footage I got. No one believes that either, but beats shit out this silly Utah one. And sure, it could be fake too, but in this case, I couldn't pin it. I guess now that was faked, but don't mean it was. So I'm talking about the Mojo footage I got from the Skywatcher. There's way better footage than this Utah one. So actually, I might just find that and post it in the comment for him to have a watch. Or yeah, when I first looked at Mojo one, I looked at his video, took some screen snapshots, and I did a review of his channel, saying he had some interesting videos up. So that's when I first noticed Mojo, and here's a zoom in on his video he made, where you can see a three-dimensional shape like an alien grey head with the black eyes popping out, and And then I did this one, which is the smoking gun evidence, alien grey and cloaked UFO. So I just want to copy the link. But we've been over this one so many times now, seeing if we can spot anything that makes it stand out 100% as a hoax, and so we haven't. But it's got a Ventus one in it. It looks, if you draw around the eyes to bring it out, while trying to, anyway. Wasn't a very good artist back then either. I figured out how to use the line thing and move the points on the line to get it nice smooth edges. So this is the Mojo one, analysed out on the lake using a low light handy cam that had interlaced interference on it. UFO is in the background here. That's what he sent me. He sent me on his channel. That's how he had it. He had all these lines go through it, and so he gave it to me, and I did a proper conversion to progressive from interlace, so you could analyze it properly. So where's the footage? Here somewhere. Just anyone new to the channel, but the UFO was hovering over a waterway. Here it is here. And you can see the lights look like they're connected, and extra lights pop up, and he's sitting in a wooden one of those fold-up chairs, and he's got the camera as still as he possibly can get it, and he's going to zoom in, and up here is a window, and this is where we see the alien grey occur. Now the bunkers and skeptics are saying that's a load of ambulance lights. So certainly the ambulance light don't go that high up in the air from the headlights. That's be the headlights down here. That would be like the blinking lights here, but there's a light way up the top here that seems to show up every so often. So to me, it doesn't fit ambulance lights. This one's even higher up here. This light seems to be way out by itself here. That's like some other thing going on here in the distance. Could be an orb, a sphere. And that's it zoomed back out again. And it's filming through weeds here. The tall grass is wetlands there. So there's actually grass going through this image, and when we enhance it. Now, I'm not too sure we filmed the alien creature. I think might happen just before then, is it? I'm not sure what's happened there. I don't think the video's playing. Right, it does. Now he turns on his high-powered torch. So I do enhancements of the cockpit area, and you can see there's an alien grey sitting way back there in the dark. So they're saying this is an ambulance, and that's someone with a costume mask on. I don't believe it myself, but it's possible. Things can be hoaxed. I'm more inclined to think maybe it was something out on water, and they had a black cardboard cutout with lights on it, and they had a kid in a latex mask sitting at a table there. That's the only way I could think how it could possibly be done properly. If it was going to be faked, but maybe it's not faked and it's actually something real that we're looking at. We're actually seeing a creature in the cockpit there, but it's best to go and watch it on your own screens, and I'll put that one there. So this footage is way better than the Utah footage, because we can get a lot of information from it, and it goes on for 3 minutes rather than 1 second. Mojo, alien and UFO over water. Now, I've said many times that James Fox was offered this footage and he wasn't interested. it had it for free, the source file for free. The guy said he didn't want to go on camera though. He didn't want any publicity with it. He wouldn't even give his location where it happened. So yeah, so it's probably going to be something that's going to be classed as a hoax, because some people in MUFON reckon it's a hoax, and that's the end of story. You know, and of course James Fox listens to those in MUFON, and as we know, MUFON's not always correct as well. And there's a few people in MUFON that, you know, anyone can sit the exams and do the tests. And we know there's certain people in MUFON that thinks Tyler from the security team is awesome, when everybody else knows that's not true. And we know he's a hoaxer as well. So I think I'm going to wrap it up there, and I'll carry on with these MUFON cases that I was going to carry on from another day. And
So
did I post that one? Did I post this link about the video made at all? I can't remember if I did. I'll just repost it again. Video still shutter speed. Dang, I can't see what it's saying. What's the time there now at the moment, John? Must be getting close to midnight there, is it? Oh, shutter speed. Looks like he's got up.
yeah, I need to take off my dinner here.
Oh, you got dinner? Yeah, mine will be coming up too. I got to take the dog out. I got to have a shower and take the dog out.
Yeah, but thanks. I had a good time.
Yeah, I think it's going to work out a better time slot if I can not oversleep. So yeah.
All right. Well, then I'll be there for your Sunday show then.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll be doing Sunday at the regular time at 7 p.m, which is a bit later. So that's like 2 hours from now on Sunday. So anybody new out there can join in. And if you join Discord, if we get enough people on Discord, we can have you come on and chat. So just think about it. And I do check Discord probably a couple of times a day. I don't have it always running, and I will approve people into the channel. I think it shows up that you joined, but I think it gives you a final say whether you want them connected permanently or whatever. But it doesn't mean that you won't get ejected or banned if you break the rules of the F word and C word on the channel or on the chats and being rude to people. So here we just want to get to the truth about UFOs, and hopefully we've learned a lot today doing this together about internal camera workings, and some of the videos that we really liked are now totally debunked, and it sort of deflates us a bit. But we still know people have seen real craft but haven't got it on video, unfortunately. So there's real stuff out there that still has to be explained. And it's just that we just haven't got a decent video footage of anything apart from that one I just showed you before, which people still think is a hoax. So we can't win. Video alone won't solve the UFO phenomenon. We're going to have people come out.
Okay, Paul. I'll see you on Sunday. I've got to go. Bye.
Yeah, okay, mate. We're just going to have to wait till people come out with physical evidence. Maybe To the Stars has some, who knows. So yeah, I'm just going to wind down now. John couldn't wait to go. I'll just close that window down there. I thought we might have had also Jared on, but he works and probably went to bed early because I didn't start early enough because I overslept. So yeah, I sort of rambled on a bit there though. So I'm just going to wind down now. I'll just close these down. Now do check out all those links I've posted in the side, especially my other videos. Some people were calling me a paid debunker, which is crazy. I'm just like you guys. I started off thinking that everything I was seeing was actually really UFOs until I realized how many of them were actually misidentified, a bit like that Turkey one. So I'm just going to switch screens here and put my channel close down on, and do like and share, because it's the only way I'm going to get noticed out there. I don't make money off the channel yet, but I have got some donations coming in because the guys know that I need a new computer to do this stuff better. So, but it's going to cost like $5,000 to get a decent laptop that I need to do this a lot better than I currently am. So thanks for watching, and see you again Sunday, hopefully.